Philadelphia. I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gargano Show.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Yes, it's Monday across the Delaware Valley. Still feels different, though. Something about Mondays when you're not champs at the end of February, or drab, ugly, miserable. But when you're still floating off a Super Bowl, it's not that bad. All right? It's not. Except for the Sixers. Good morning. This is the Anthony Gargano Show. We're presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. TrueMark.com/PHLY to find out the credit union difference. And yes, it didn't get more low or it didn't get lower than Saturday night. The lowly Brooklyn Nets. God, I look up and they've given up 72 points in the first half to the Brooklyn Nets. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That was Boston. They gave up 63 to the Nets in the first half. This is Brooklyn, a team that struggles to score. They come all the way back, and there was Nick Claxton at the end at the buzzer to beat them. They're now 20-36. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This year couldn't have been worse. And it's amazing because we've been so consumed with the birds that, you rail on them every once in a while, right? You sit back and you go, hey, this is what it is, but you don't really care. But now that the Eagles are done, you look around and you go, all right, well, what's my sports situation? All right? Flyers, we know in the rebuild. Phillies, it was great to see a little live ball from Clearwater yesterday, but we're still a month out from the start of the season. And you look around and you go, where's my basketball team? Your basketball team is in hell, all right? Absolute hell. I don't think there's a ring in hell that's worse than where the Sixers are right now. The talk has increased now from the team that they will be shutting down Joel Embiid and Paul George, who is getting repeated injections into his finger. Wow. Let that marinate for a second. We talk about the league and how the league is kind of drab. But if your team's good and your team is a contender, like if you're in Boston right now, as much as the NBA may not be the NBA, the glory days, you go, well, who cares? I got a great team. In Philadelphia, we don't. And Joel Embiid just looks awful. Awful. I don't even know how to describe it. Flailing. He doesn't play any defense. He moves gingerly. From what I heard, he's had 9 different doctors look at his knee, and they're all split. 3 of them say, hey, there's nothing you can do. You got to play through it. You can play through it. You just got to try to do it. 3 of them say, you know what? You might be able to cut it and figure it out. 3 of them say maybe there's exploratory surgery and with medical advances to kind of rebuild the cartilage. I don't know. All I know is shut him down. Shut him down. I can't see it. It's worse watching it. There's nothing more frustrating than seeing that. It's so bad. I mean, listen, I'm not going to tell you that I watched the entire game against Brooklyn. I got a life, not much of one, but it's just unwatchable. I put it on for a minute. I go, I can't do it. I got to go to my new show, which is 1,000 Blows about 1880s London. I can't. I just can't watch this, man. This is so bad. And I think about all the hope and the promise and everything else, and it's over. I can't believe it. And maybe I should, and maybe I got hoodwinked, and maybe I was a sucker and believed and played the song and all that stuff. But it never was really close. I mean, they had 1 year against Kawhi in Toronto, and that really was it. It was a lot of dashed hopes. And what it is now, it's just awful. And the worst thing about it is you're in so much hell. Like the contract kicker hasn't even begun yet, the extension for Embiid. Paul George is in the beginning of this horrible deal. I don't know what you could do. Maybe you can move Paul George, but you're stuck with Embiid. I don't know, who in their right mind would take him right now? Nobody. So you're kind of stuck. It's pretty gross. It's sad. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm biding my time for the Phillies, and I'm enjoying Saturday afternoon. I watched that game. I had an afternoon practice and for kids basketball, and I was able to watch the Flyers against Connor McJesus, and it was awesome. It was fun, right? Michkov off the break was electric. Michkov you couldn't take your eyes off him. He was great. I feel good. I'm looking forward to. Now I'm looking forward to Flyer games where I go, I just want to watch them play. Tomorrow night, you got Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's been languishing. I'm looking forward to a nice night watching the Flyers, watching Michkov go off. But this Sixer thing, we'll talk to Devon coming up, but you got to end it. You got to end this season. You got to just shut them both down and then kind of try to figure something out. It's pretty ugly. Good morning, VG.
Put him in a body bag. Put him in a body bag.
It's horrible.
Dude, what are they doing? What are they doing?
It's bad.
Yeah. And what's he's not going to talk to the media afterwards.
No.
I mean, I know he's going through a lot. We've been through a lot as fans.
Well,
just
that's
talk
it.
to us as people. And
Yeah.
I feel like, that's terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, that's it. I mean, the problem is that he's always prone to feeling sorry for himself.
Yeah.
Right? And he always will mope. And that's what you got. They have a game there in Chicago. Seriously, at this point, just let it all go and just get through the end of the year. I can't. You can't even watch them.
I don't.
And I feel sorry for Maxey.
Yeah. I worry about that. I worry about, does he want out, or is he the only way out? Getting rid of him, is that the only way out at this point? It's
I know
we're just stuck with these two old guys with these horrible contracts.
I know. I don't even know. I can't even figure a way out of it.
There doesn't seem to be a way.
No, I mean, other than maybe you could move. I guess there was the rumors about Paul George around the deadline that never really, came to fruition. I don't know why you would trade for Paul George if you're another team.
No, dude.
Right? I don't know. Why would you want that guy?
Unless you're inebriated.
Right? And then you got the other issue, which is the big guy. And, so anything short of, I heard he had nine different doctors look at the knee. That alone tells you his mindset.
Well, yeah, he's desperate for answers, and it's wild that you can't get a definitive answer from the doctors. That's crazy. They're 1-9 their last 10. Last week, Maury said if you squint, you can see a championship. You see,
squint.
Yeah,
I can see Boston
winning
a
some respect
championship
as fans.
I know.
If you could, they're 1-9 their last 10.
I know. And truth of the matter is, they all got to go now. Everybody's got to go. It's all got to end.
I mean, the good thing is they broke the tiebreaker with the Nets. They are the sixth worst team in basketball, so the draft pick is protected right now for them.
Yeah.
Just keep it going.
And
Shut it all down.
I think you have to. I think you just got to go back into tank mode.
You know what will happen? They'll shut it down, and then the kids and the scrubs will just play out of their minds and go on a streak.
I don't know if they're even capable.
Yeah, I know. It's just the way it feels like it'll happen.
But at this point, you got to try it. You got to just shut everything. Just shut it down. I don't think people are at their wits' end with it. We're just spent. I feel completely drained by them.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because everybody kind of knew it and felt it. One thing about Philadelphia is I think we have great sports intuition. right?
Okay, I can roll with that.
All right, like, man, listen, we were all, everybody out, all in on Birds, right? And we all kind of felt that they were going to win the game, the Super Bowl, but it was such a great ride. The Sixers got no attention.
No, I mean, how could they from the get-go? They wouldn't tell us what was up with Embiid. He wasn't playing. Just this franchise. I try to insulate myself and not watch them. You keep bringing me back into this pond of scum and mess.
Well, because it's part. It is pond scum. I agree.
Like,
I'm with you. I don't know what else to do. Like, it's part of my routine. Like, I can't quit you altogether. I'm 4 for 4 until the end.
You only got one team's logo tattooed on you.
Right.
you're right. in, brother.
I did that for lost a bet to Pat Croce way back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I all I know is it's my only, you roll with them, right? You roll all in. But with this thing, it's, there comes a point in time where you just got to, either you don't watch them or bet against them.
Bet against them. And I mean, they just got to.
I don't know what the line was Saturday night, but they had to be a healthy favorite.
I think they
were
were
ask
favored.
the brain. I'm curious what the Nets money line was.
Oh, the Nets money line.
Saturday night.
Money line.
I mean, the Sixers had to be a favorite.
Yes.
I don't know what it was, but they had to be a favorite. So it's just terrible.
The Sixers were minus 11.5.
They were an 11.5-point favorite?
Oh,
wow.
wait, yeah, against the Nets.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
What was the money line?
I don't have the money line.
Oh, my God. The brain will know. Oh, my God. You can hit the Bet Parks app and hit the Nets. There is definitely some smart guy around here that went, this team stinks. I'll take them. The Nets, I mean, that's got to be plus 3 something.
You would think.
Something.
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
But and just be straight up with us.
I hate the way they do business. I do.
Straight up with us.
I hate the way they've handled this Embiid thing from the jump.
Yeah.
It's such a disservice.
And everything we've been through, we deserve better than
that team.
It's like a riddle. What's up with that?
At some point, I'm going to go through every piece of the drama since the process started. And if that's not a freaking disaster movie, I don't know what is.
You know what? It's
a disaster movie.
I thought when you were watching 1,000 Blows, it was the process documentary, dude, because it feels like blow after blow. It's like, oh my God.
You forget all the nonsense that the fan base has been through. I mean, it's crushing what this fan base has been through.
Over the years, I mean, you going way back to the Brad Doherty soft because he can't play a pickup game in a driveway. Like, this is crazy talk.
All right. For Barkley getting traded.
Yeah,
all right. But
crazy.
Just forget all that.
For Jeff Hornacek.
Yeah. Andrew Lang, Jim Perry.
Like, come on.
But if you forget all of that,
right, and
you just focus on the process here, I mean, from the frittering away the picks, right?
It should be a sitcom. Like an HBO sitcom about this team trying to run this group trying to run a franchise.
I mean, it's unbelievable, right? Like, if you think about from Okafor, right, to Fultz, I mean, to Simmons and
Danny
what happened.
Simmons.
Oh, my God. It's one thing after another with that group. It's just horrendous.
People want Josh Harris to sell the team. Like, you can't get rid of those contracts if you sell the team. That doesn't help. They're screwed. There's no. We talked about hope on Friday. There's no hope, really.
No, there's no hope.
There's no sunlight on the way out.
I can't. I'm pretty good, pretty creative at figuring out a way for hope.
X-Man's giving us Larry Hughes over Paul Pierce.
Oh, God, yes.
Andrew Bynum still in our prayers.
God, Andrew Brown. Pray for him. How about Doug Collins saying that?
Lost sleep, Zaire Smith. Like, it goes on and on.
Zaire. He's going to be the next Kawhi Leonard. Zaire. How crazy. How about Colangelo? Star hunting. Oh, star hunting. You know what's funny? The least horrific thing that has happened was the Tobias contract. Go figure that. Go figure. That was a bargain compared to Paul George and Embiid.
Yeah, it was,
right?
man. Yes.
Part of me is sad over Embiid because, I mean, he's only 30 years old. Only 30 years old, right?
Can't you just go bionic at this point? Can he get it replaced? Is that not possible?
3 doctors say go bionic, basically.
Yeah.
3 doctors say cut him, and 3 doctors say you got to deal with it.
Let's go bionic. Let's try that out.
I mean, I would try anything.
Yeah.
Because the sad thing about it is his greatness is legitimate. Like, he's legitimately a dominant force.
When he's healthy and his head's right, yes, he's dominant.
But head and body.
Yeah, rarely comes together.
No. And listen, we know it's over, but I'm just lamenting what could have been.
I don't know. I don't buy that it's over. I buy the season's over. I think if they shut him down, they can get him right.
You think so? Really?
Yeah, I do.
But even if they were able to do that, Paul George is a loser. I mean, that dude's a stone loser.
I gotta believe that.
Like, if
Embiid's balling, he's all in.
He's just flea ridden.
Yeah, it seems
he's a flea guy. Like, he walks around, and if you look closely, you could see the fleas bouncing up around his body. Like, I hate that dude. If I tell you, like, just his demeanor on the floor, like his prideless approach to the game.
What'd he do on Saturday?
He stinks. He flat out just blows. Yeah. I just can't stand that guy. I got to tell you. Hey, listen, he was a good ball player. He was never a great ball player. He could have been, but my God.
He's not what we thought he was going to be when they sold him to us.
Yeah.
And we should have seen that with the Clippers not giving him that contract extension. You know, they knew something was up with him. And I don't know why we didn't have the eyes to be like, oh, okay. I mean, like, the Clippers don't want him. Why would we?
Because we're desperate.
Yeah, because,
I understand,
because Morey's throwing darts. Morey's in the dark at the end throwing darts. I mean, that's what he's doing. You know,
it's like hubris is really what it is.
It's not even, it's desperation, dude. It's not hubris, it's desperation. It's, you know, throwing darts and praying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all he's doing. Trying to, you know, tweak a roster, and the moves are all desperate moves that don't fit together. It's just terrible. It's dreck.
I just fear that they don't want to be seen as wrong with everything that's been going on with Embiid.
You're already wrong.
And that they want to stay on this mountain of like, oh, we're going to get to a championship with this team, when reality, you're probably not.
Probably not.
I don't know if Embiid, I'm not just saying this year, but like extended years, I don't know if Embiid is ever going to get over all of this stuff. Yeah.
Here's the answer. No.
I mean, he's been hurt from day one draft.
It is what it is. I mean, just shut him down, please. Just do us a favor.
Paul George averaged 16 points a game. He hasn't averaged less than 16 points, less than 17 points a game since 2011, his second year in the league. Like, how's he? He's just got to be feeding off the bad vibes of the Embiid. There's a funk around this team.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think he's easily affected by funks, Paul George. I think if Embiid comes back next year and is bald and is healthy, I think he will be inspired by that.
All right.
And put up 20 a game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You think another year older?
Yeah, sure.
Another
year wiser. They shut the pinky down.
The pinky's going to heal.
Ronnie Lott had duct tape pinky on playing the
Ronnie
game.
Lott cut his finger off. All right? You want to give me $20 million? I'll cut my finger off. What's frig? Oh, my God.
What's a pinky anyway, right?
Oh, it's the best. All right, coming up, Devon to sort through the rubble. We got the brain, Mike Sielski, the fabulous columnist for the Inquirer. Let's not lose sight of Michkov.
Nah.
He was great.
He's fun.
Saturday. Oh, my God. He was fantastic.
Like, come on, Torch. Just let him go. Let the kid go wild and crazy.
Yeah, tomorrow night,
give him some breathing room.
Pittsburgh is a terrible defensive team. So tomorrow night, I want to see more. You might see some highlights tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, we saw highlights. Edmonton stinks defensively, too.
He was great. Yeah. He was just fantastic. All right, lots to get to. Let's talk about Rothman. Could you imagine?
Please.
They need the whole incredible team of Rothman doctors right? To go after the Sixers. I don't know. I'm just happy Rothman's for us. Joints aching, hands cramping, back out of whack. Rothman's got you. At Rothman Orthopedics, practicing specialized care has been their passion for over 50 years. Their mission, easy. It's high quality, compassionate, affordable care that's rooted in research leading to new treatments and better outcomes. Each Rothman doctor is laser focused on their specialty: hip, knee, spine, elbow, shoulder, you name it. They have a team for each body part right here in our backyard, so you can stay active on the weekends, right? Play softball, play hoops, root for our teams like no other fans in the country. They're Rothman Orthopedics, and they specialize in you. 50 years of specialized orthopedics and you. Visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY to learn more and to make an appointment today.
All right, time to talk about our friends over at TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Holiday shopping leave you with a credit card balance. Maybe a really nice Valentine's Day gift left you with a high credit card balance, or the Super Bowl run. Well, what if you could pay it off faster and with zero interest until 2026? That's what's happening over at TrueMark Financial. They're offering you zero interest on balance transfers for 12 months, so all your payments can go toward reducing the balance, not covering that pesky interest. So here's how you do it. Transfer your existing balance from another institution to a TrueMark Financial Visa credit card and take advantage of this amazing offer. But you got to hurry because you got to apply by February 28th, 2025, which is just 4 days away. Whether you're interested in earning rewards, cash back, or simply prefer a low rate for everyday purchases, with TrueMark Financial, you can choose the credit card that best fits your financial needs. Visit TrueMark.com/compare for full details and to apply today. TrueMark Financial, federally insured by the NCUA, equal opportunity lender. Terms and conditions apply. All loans subject to approval. 3% balance transfer fee applies. Standard rates apply after the promotional rate has run out.
All right, my brother. Time now for our man from the old PHLY Sixers show. It's a shame his talent's wasted.
Right.
All right. He's our man, the great Devon Givens. Good morning.
Devon Givens.
NBA.
Devon Givens.
NBA.
Devon Givens.
NBA.
Devon Givens.
NBA.
Devon Givens, NBA. He's right here. What do you say, my brother?
We all need a good laugh to start off this Monday, right?
Oof.
Yeah. Even though that's great from VG. I'm not taking a shot at that. I'm just saying it always makes me smile to see that intro.
What's that hat you wearing, Devon? Rolls Royce hat?
No, this is my daughter's clothing line that she had put together. So
Nice.
So yeah, I can get you some things if you need it.
I like hats. Yeah.
Got you covered.
Cool.
Got you covered.
Do you perform surgery?
You know what? I have some good people that you just talked about that we can both make phone calls to those folks. Rothman Orthopedics, man.
So
minimally invasive surgeries, whatever you need, they got you covered.
I want to start off this call with this conversation with a note from a great fan, Tasty Cake Dom.
Yes.
So here's what I got. Come on, Dom. Super Bowl champs. I get it. But if a guy has 2 sons or 4 sons, one son wins the Heisman, but the other son flunks out of school, you're going to be elated and furious at the same time, right?
Right. Or at the very least disappointed, right? So, yeah, this has been a tough one, man, because I know we've been talking about in this some form all season long when it comes to Joel Embiid and the knee, from the Olympics to training camp and then preseason, regular season. And me joining you guys at some form, some way during this regular season in general. We're now 56 games in, Anthony, and here we are. But I was one that was, hey, let's see how it goes. He hasn't been out there yet. He hasn't been out there enough. And when he was out there for those 10 games with his other 2 All-Stars, they were a 7-3 record. We see some things. Let's see it. I've seen him go out there and drop 30. I've seen him go out there and give you a double-double. I've seen him come back after missing time and give you a triple-double. And so I was one that was sitting there saying, let's see how it goes. Let's see how it plays out. But as things have gone on, even as early as last week. Forget about the game on Saturday first, quickly. Last week, when all three of us were together on the PHLY Sixers show, one of the days that we had a full show, I believe it was Wednesday, and we were talking about what do you do with him as one of the hot questions. What do you do? And we I think we all disagreed, and I lean more towards I think you shut him down. The reasons that Derek and Kyle may have given weren't wrong of seeing him play, getting some reps with Paul George and Tyrese Maxey, also getting those reps for next season. If this is what your team is going to look like, at least as the three leaders, I don't disagree with that. But what we had seen, though, whatever was going on, whatever they were trying, the man had only played at that point 17 games. So playing a certain number one, they have 5 back-to-backs in the month of March. So that already cuts off 5 games right there. Then you don't know how he's going to react to other games where he's going to have to sit load management games. So my thinking was just simply, if he needed rest because of the Olympics he played, and we saw what happened in the Knicks series where he was fantastic at times, but he also buckled his knee in game 1 because of that silly off the back pass to himself in the dunk where he really, I think, made it worse at that point.
I forgot about that. Oh my God.
I think that was the one. In the moment, I was furious when we were doing post game because I'm sitting there with Rich Hoffman that night and saying, you have to think the game better. You don't do that. We don't know how you're going to land. You don't do that. And I think that's where he really, really re-injured it right there. Of course, we saw what he did for the remainder of the series. But and I say that long-winded to get to the point of, I said it on Wednesday just because that's what I felt that they needed to do. After seeing a shell of himself in that game against the Brooklyn Nets on Saturday night, being benched in the fourth quarter because he could not be somewhat of himself in that game, he destroys Nick Claxton. He destroys Day'Ron Sharpe, players of that ilk, when they're out there on the floor. He can't destroy those guys right now. He does not need to be on the floor.
No, you got to shut him down. I mean, it's painful just to see him move. I was told that he's got 9 different doctors to look at his knee, and they're all 3, 3, and 3. 3 said there's nothing you can do, but you can play with it. You just got to get used to the pain. 3 of them say you could do something and try surgery. And then 3 of them say you could try exploratory treatments. So, like, it's kind of still across the board. And I still think he's just, from what I hear, he's just searching for any kind of answers. Because in his mind, it's like, can't they fix it somehow? What can you do to fix it? And so he's in a bad place. And you can see it. He's never been one that hides how he feels, right? And if he's down, like, you see it, like you can see it on the floor. His body language has always been like this. And you look at him Saturday night. One of the reasons why he doesn't play hard on defense is that he thinks that's when it aggravates the knee the most, which is the quick jumping and trying to block shots and trying to rebound like that.
And as evidence, we saw the 26 points in the paint in the first quarter where the Nets put up 40 points. Not all him, but a good part of that is, hey, at the very least, he might be able to adjust some shots, make them rethink some things when they get into the painted area. And no, they were just attacking Joel, and they scored 26 points in the paint. The Nets did. The Nets, without D'Angelo Russell, had 26 points in the paint of their 40 in the first quarter. And to your point, yeah, he wears it on his sleeve too much sometimes, where it can get him in trouble. The Kelly Oubre incident that happened during that one timeout, where the video, of course, caught him on that one. They made up quickly. He apologized to Kelly Oubre. He was wrong. And his frustration, which is something I'm glad you brought it up, and because in the pregame, when Rich and I were talking about it Saturday before the Nets game, is that the mental part of it. When that mental part, and he discussed how tough it was for him a season ago, having to go through the mental struggles of having to come to grips with, I can't do this, I can't do that, can't do this other thing. And it really messed with his head. And as a result, we saw how things played out. And I thought that was going to be something going forward for this season before the Nets game, if he couldn't go out there and be himself. And I was pointing in the camera on Saturday night after the game because it was like, that's not him.
No.
Get him off the floor. That is not him. He may never be the guy where he drops and averages 33 a season and is an MVP candidate, league leading scorer. He may never be that guy again. But if you are to believe that the IQ that we saw him play with for all these years can also help him translate into the next phase of his career, what we saw on Saturday night, that was nowhere close to that guy. And as a result, again, now it's going to start to play in his mental again. Anthony, after the game on Saturday, Kyle had immediately tweeted it while they were waiting for Joel Embiid so they can talk to him. He decided to leave before speaking to the reporters. Why? You know why? Because he's frustrated that he cannot go out there and, as you just pointed out, with the 9 physicians, 3 said surgery, 3 said non-surgery, 3 said there's nothing you can do. He has no answers. He has no answers. And right now, in the moment, he probably needs to step away, get that rest, and come to grips again that this is going to be who you are. Figure out the best pathway forward again with the medical staff on the Sixers, whatever specialist that you decide you want to speak with again, and figure out what's best for you for your career going forward. Because it's most likely not going to be the one that we were talking about, 14 months ago when we were talking about him being another MVP because of what he was doing before the injury
the idea of him, playing in the Olympics, playing with LeBron and Steph and KD and learning how to be a champion. He's done. I mean, it's really mind-boggling. So you have him, and then you got the other one who is just horrible. Everything about him is just disappointing and disgusting. They're going to shut him down because of the multiple injections he has to get into his finger.
I mean, we were calling him before the season started. I mean, before the second half started, when they played on Thursday against Boston. We were joking around because of the photos that he had on Instagram with his wife, all that stuff. And he had his pinky out while he was drinking with the other hand, the pinky's on the side. We called him Perry AP, I don't, I don't know if you saw or heard when Kyle had reported from the weekend when he asked in the locker room, Paul George, dealing with the injuries that you dealt with. That was some serious stuff when he injured his leg, broke his leg in the playing for Team USA in Vegas in that exhibition game. And he said, do you have any advice to Joel? You've dealt with this. And he simply said one word: drugs. That was his answer. Drugs of Joel. And he said, look, I'm not kidding, because it does help you out a lot for the pain that you're dealing with. It is prescribed by the doctors. But I mean, I know as you have it, as it's a nightmare season. You pay this guy $200 million in the offseason. While the knee injury that he sustained against Atlanta in the preseason wasn't his fault. Re-injuring that when he got back and starting the regular season, not his fault. Making a normal move and his knee buckles, that's not his fault. Breaking a finger, tearing tendons in his finger, not his fault. But my goodness, man, this has been. This ranks really, really high, including his addition of the most disappointing season that I've ever had to endure. Not only as someone growing up watching the team, but being around the team. This has been one of the more disappointing ones. And he's been one of the more disappointing players as well. Again, you can't predict the injuries and how you deal with those things. But even when he has been out there, it's just been so frustrating. The fact that he scored 2 points in that Nets game going into the All-Star break, which is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I mean, he's the biggest non-factor in a game. Like,
oh my God.
I mean, he's to the point where you go, well, Tobias Harris at least got you 13 and 7. I mean,
sometimes, right? But yeah, I get your point. Yeah,
I mean, are we kidding? So
meanwhile, his team is about to go into the playoffs, and he can, yeah. And then Maxie's on the injury report this morning because of a sprained thumb, I believe it. I have to recheck it, but yeah, so he might not play tonight. So we'll see. I think he was doubtful when I checked it this morning.
So what do you do?
Good
I mean,
times.
let's. Okay, we know we got to shut them down. We all agree, shut them all down. Well, all right, but now what? All right, because who's does Morey go? I think Nurse is gone. Does Morey go? Do you try to bring somebody else in here to try to salvage the thing? Like, I don't even know what you do. I can't even imagine a fix because you have these two ridiculous assets that are anchors that you can't move.
Well, I think one thing for sure, even so, they go into the season as one of the more intriguing teams to start off the 24-25 campaign. I think you even start the 25-26, whatever they are, as one of the more intriguing teams again in the NBA because of what the answer will be at some point. So, number one, when it comes to the tanking part that many people talk about, of course, you don't have to shut guys down for that reason because they've been bad anyway with them on the floor. So as we say, it happens organically. They're not good. But then when it comes to the offseason of figuring out if you do that, do you want to give Morey another opportunity to try to fix the team again? Does he get another chance? James Harden is gone. He's having an all-star season with the Los Angeles Clippers because you didn't want to pay him the money. Okay, fine. You go and get Paul George, but you had other options, other avenues to go this past offseason and to team up with these two guys. And right now, it was the wrong one. So do you give Nurse another chance? Because, all right, his first season, guys were injured, but you got him into the playoffs. They fought. You get eliminated in 6 games to the Knicks. His second season, guys are injured again. It's not his fault, but some of the other things that you see throughout the campaign doesn't give you any faith that he's the one to lead this team forward.
The minute you play zone against Boston, I'm out. I'm just out. I'm out.
And I don't disagree. Right.
I mean,
so
like,
even when you
what are
want
you
to
doing?
give him,
and his reasoning is mind-boggling. His reasoning was just stupid. Like, I'm going.
I believe his reason was, well, they were already making shots in the man-to-man defense we were playing, so we wanted to try to give them another look. Not that team.
Right. Of all teams. Like, I get playing the junk defense here and there. I get that.
Yeah.
Not at Boston. Anybody but Boston. They shot you. You were up by, whatever it was, 26 earlier in the year, and you went zone, and you got them hot.
Yeah.
Like, he's got no answers. I don't see anything from him. Like, listen, is it his fault? No. But is he part of the solution? Hell no. Right? And then Morey, I'm done. Like, I don't know what else. Like, you've been given time and time again, and his moves are desperation panic moves. A roster that doesn't fit.
Well, somebody's going to be gone. Somebody has to take the fall for this in the offseason. Someone does. And so that probably leans more Nurse. But to your point, you're going to give Morey another opportunity with a second coach. He didn't hire Rivers, so that's not on him. But they were together.
It's not
Rivers
even the coach. It's more of the roster, right? At this point, I think I need somebody else to come in. It's almost impossible to revive. Like, I don't even know where you start. But I need somebody else with fresh eyes to look at it. Look,
I agree with you. I agree with you.
I mean, because I think about it and I go, I don't know what to do. I don't know how you strip this thing down, where you begin with. Do you just start over? It's impossible because you're locked into all these contracts. Like, your pick situation isn't the best. Like, I don't know where the answers are.
What's his contract status, Maurice? Like, how many years does he have left?
Well, he got an extension, if I'm not mistaken, before last summer. So whatever it is, he still has multi-years remaining on his deal. I believe
people in the chat are saying Keith Pompey may have been somewhere this morning and said that Morey's not going anywhere due to the contractual status.
He was on John Marks this morning.
Johnny Marks?
Yeah. He was with John this morning.
Sheesh.
And listen, they don't like to pay guys. No organization does, right? They don't like to pay guys with years on their deal. And maybe they look at it and go, he made the mess. I don't know. Give him one more. He's getting paid a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Give him a chance to fix it because nobody else is going to be able to come in and fix it. I mean, that may be their thinking, that there's no other fresh eyes that could come in here and try to fix this thing.
And that's why the coach will be the one that is going to go, because of that very reason. The two reasons that you just laid out, that he has so much money left on, they want to give him that opportunity because you don't want to pay other people and him. And the fact that with the players, you're kind of strapped to those contracts. Who's going to take Joel Embiid right now? No one's going to take Joel Embiid right now. Who's going to take Paul George? Someone might, but you're not going to get whatever you think you should.
Was there, because there were those rumors around the deadline surrounding him. Was there any truth to that?
Surrounding Nurse?
Paul George being moved.
Oh, Paul George. The listening part, yes. Yeah, but I never thought he would. Don't, at least from my knowledge, that he was never going to be moved.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Listening, sure.
At this point, why not? Like, it's almost irrelevant what you get. Like, you're not winning a title. Like that piece of it is not happening. So if you can get out of the contract now, then go do it.
I would certainly lean more towards your side and certainly look into it, because whatever it is, it's not working. So I would definitely go into the offseason, look at that. The coach will most likely be gone. You're going to have a new coach coming in here, and sure, maybe the new coach can come in and get something more out of him, or have him involved more in the offense. That was one of the reasons that we had an issue with things with Nurse. Why is Paul George not more involved in the offense in the time that all three of them were on the floor? My biggest issue was, why is he not playing a more central role or being more aggressive when it's he and Maxey out there, when it's just those two as the two focal points? And part of that does fall on Nurse too. But if it also is more leaning towards the Paul George is not just asserting himself and taking these shots and getting these shots and putting up, high volume of shots, then that falls on him, and you're most likely going to have to move on from it and see if you can get somebody better to fit next to Tyrese Maxey going into next season and give yourself a chance there. I wouldn't be against anything outside of keeping Maxey out there. Anything is on the table for me going into next season. Anything.
Yeah, now VG says there's a world in his mind that Embiid comes back and you take another run at it. I just.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming Paul George is feeling a funk of this team.
He is a funk.
Yeah.
Right.
And
part of it is him
maybe
too.
even B comes back and he's playing like we think he can play with a somewhat healthy knee. Maybe Paul George is reinvigorated. I don't know. I got to have some hope.
Well, the hope there too is that he's going to be healthy, right? Even at 35, he's going to be healthy. He's not going to have the bone bruise in his knee, and his finger is healed up from the off season, and he's going to be healthy. And that's what you have to believe. 3 more years, you get at least one more of those 3 as the focal point and build a better complementary roster around them where they're not 34, 35, up to 38 from Drummond, Gordon, all the way up to Kyle Lowry playing big minutes for you. And you have a younger complement of Quentin Grimes, bringing back Yabusele, even though he will be, 29, 30 going into next season. You bring back Yabusele, Quentin Grimes. You give a look at bringing back Lonnie Walker again. But you hope, too, now that you do go and keep that top 6 pick and you get a younger player to go along in that mix of what you have with those 3 and everyone else. And I say Grimes and all those players, they're going to be bench players, of course.
Yeah. I'm out. I'm out, man. I waved the white flag. I'm done. I finally listen. They stamped that all the hope out of me. I got none left. I just got none left. I'm out.
Well within your right after seeing this.
Like, listen, other than Boston, Oklahoma City, Denver, and now Los Angeles, they got Luka, Cleveland. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty wretched existence as an NBA fan. Like you like on yesterday, you got Knicks Celtics blowout, you got Golden State Dallas blowout. Freaking blows, man.
You were supposed to be right there. You were supposed to be right there in that mix of teams that you mentioned, right from the start. And unfortunately, this one has sucked. Yes, this one stinks. 26 games left, man.
Oof. If you squint, Devon, you can see a championship.
Yeah, it's called a mirage. All right, the mirage. We've been in the desert. I think Maury's been in the desert. That's a mirage, my man. A mirage.
Yeah. That squinting thing that he said at that press conference is not going to age well at all.
No.
At all.
No, that's acid. Like if you're on acid, you can see a championship. My brother, I love you, buddy. Thanks for giving us some dialogue. All right, just to get this off our chest.
We'll see everybody tonight at 6:30 for pregame.
God bless you, buddy. God bless you.
Thanks, man.
See you, brother. There he is, the great Devon Givens.
It stinks, man. We have such good Sixers people here.
We have great Sixers
people.
People.
They got to deal with this slop.
I know. But that quote is it. That will go down into history.
Come on.
If you squint.
They're 1-9 their last 10. If you can squint, you see a championship.
He just lost it, and then they lose to the Nets.
Right.
Yo, Wheel. Heel got electrocuted. His brain's fried. My God. Oh, man. All right. Joining us to go over the week in sports betting. He is, of course, brought to us by Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app, The Brain.
Brain. Red, the Brain Finder.
Hello, Brain.
Wait, good morning. Wait, what was the quote? I caught the tail end of it. What was it? You said it's not going to age well?
Oh, Maury led towards the end of last week said that if you squint, you can still see an NBA championship for the Sixers.
Yeah.
You know what I would do if I'm in the worst mood of my life? I'm going to say, read that back to me, and it'll cheer me up. Oh my God. I don't even have words for that. Oh my God.
Here's the exact quote. I know you have to squint a little, but we feel like this team can still win a championship. No words, but I told you I love the shirt. Gotta get that shirt. I like it.
No, can't say it.
No, the Spectrum shirt from VG.
Oh no, I'm talking about the quote. No, never mind.
Yeah, I like the shirt.
Thanks,
Always
Brad.
makes me smile. But yeah, that's just look. What's he going to say? What's he going to do? Again, I think you could argue, guy. The Sixers' future to me with this Embiid thing, like to me, and again, I'm not trying to be. I'm not a doctor. Yeah. I mean, it's just I don't know how this thing's ever going to be right ever again. So
no.
And then again, you give the guy a 3-year contract extension. Again, as I said, we're not running a charity. You're running an organization, and they donated to the Joel Embiid Fund. And can I ask you guys a serious question? If Joel Embiid, obviously it's not going to happen, but if they did, I'm just curious to you guys because I was trying to actually think about this. If they said we are willing to trade him, my question is, would any team even take him for free, let alone give something up? I'm curious. Like, is he an unmovable?
I mean, why would you? I mean, I guess there's always a team that would take him for free, but you got to be able to pay him. Like, that's
what I'm saying. Would a team be willing to pay him? In your opinion, they said we'll take a 2nd-round pick, and we'll give you whatever, like to make it salary.
Again, you know how it is. You got a guy that may never be right and be able to play, and if he's got no,
this is Andrew Bynum, Jeff Ruland.
As a big, it's no. The answer is no. I mean,
Bynum Ruland, right? Would you agree? Like Andrew Bynum, Jeff Ruland-esque, maybe?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Horrible, but it's the reality.
I got a college basketball question.
Yes.
How is it not Duke? I mean, my God. They just come at you in waves. Like tidal waves. Man, unless we're missing, unless the conference is that bad, but my God, I mean, they're just scary, scary good. I mean, Auburn's legit, right? I mean,
Auburn's Florida.
Right?
Florida's legit.
Yes.
Yeah, the Illinois, though, in that game, their entire team had the flu and was like crazy ill. So, yeah, they blew them out of the building. I get it.
But they blow every team out.
No, they're terrific. But then it's funny. But again, I told you on Saturday, my most underrated team I have in college this year is Clemson. Clemson smoked them at home. I mean, they beat them by like 15 at home. I mean, and Clemson.
No, that game was close.
Wasn't it close? But they won by I think they won by like 10. I watched. It was 78-69 or something. I
watched it too. I watched that Clemson game. Duke came
first
back.
Half was Duke.
Right, and then
Duke
Clemson came
in
back.
The first half, and then Clemson. Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
No, I think Duke was winning. I remember the first half. I mean, Clemson was winning most of the way down the stretch. They won by I'm gonna say 8 points. It was a good game, but I'm just saying they're not. What I mean by that is not.
They didn't smoke them. Is my point. 77-71.
I misspoke. You're right. I apologize. You're absolutely right.
And the game was tight at the end. I remember inside 3 minutes, the lead was teetering.
But my point being, Anthony, you're right, and I misspoke. I'm 100% wrong. But what I'm saying is, they're not like an unbeatable team. They're really good, maybe the best team in college basketball. But I don't think there's some team that's like the UConn teams the last couple of years that just when those tournaments played, they beat everyone by 30, and no one could even come even remotely close. I don't think we're going to see that, Anthony. I really don't. And I do think Auburn is. Look, they did beat Auburn earlier. Right? I think early in the year at Duke, it was a good game. I had Duke in that one, and Duke did win, but it was at Duke and a close game. I think they won 84-78, something like that. But I think that would be a really tight game. I think Florida would be a really tight game. And then you have a couple other teams that maybe some of these SEC teams could maybe keep them somewhat tight. But yeah, I mean, listen, you look at it, I think Auburn, in my opinion, Auburn, Duke, and Florida are the 3 best teams. And Duke is really, really good. No question about it.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, what happened to UConn, man? They got just boat raced.
Anthony, we talked about it's funny.
I told you
I thought that line would be 6.5. It came in at 4. I had a big bet on St. John's in that game. We talked about that game. I go, if it was 8, I was going to like UConn. I'm sorry, UConn. If it was less than 6.5, it came in at 4. Got bet up to 5, and they won. Look, St. John's, Anthony. Look at them. They've lost 4 games this year. I believe all 4 were by 2 points or less. I believe all 4 were 2 points or less. So you got to give Pitino a lot of credit. They've played really, really, really well. Team that not many people are really talking about. But St. John's has had a great year. Again, they don't shoot the 3, which is a hard way to win in today's basketball. It's funny. You think Pitino, you kind of think 3. They don't shoot the 3 at all. But they play really, really tough. And again, we'll see. But again, I'm looking forward to the college basketball tournament. As always, I always love it. But I do think that, Auburn and, in my opinion, Auburn and Duke are probably the 2 best teams. And I think the 2 most likely champions.
Do you have any future tickets for?
I have. Look, Anthony, I'm not. Look, I bet I want to see 7 or 8 teams before the year. Some are complete duds. I had Kansas at 20-1 dud. I had Iowa State at 35-1, probably not going to get there. I had Houston at 20-1, but I do have Duke at 14-1.
Wow.
And my biggest bet, my biggest investment besides Iowa State was Auburn at 40-1.
Wow.
And that obviously looks really good right now. And I have someone Alabama 25-1, which looks good. So the only team I don't have that I guess Florida, that I really think could scare me per se. And I told you, I like Clemson. I think Clemson's a decent team. I may look to back them once the tournament starts. We'll see. But, I'm looking forward to when the tournament starts. And tonight, Anthony, I do like in the NBA, by the way. I usually don't say this. Usually I'm like prop. There's a line, Anthony. I did not a double take, not a triple take. I did a quadruple take. I didn't get it. It shocked me. And for me, on a straight game. It's one of my biggest bets of the year. Denver, who I think is playing great. No question about it. No question about it. Yeah, they lost by 20 at home to the Lakers, but they're playing well. But they're playing at Indiana. And I thought this line would come in at maybe Denver by 1.5. I took Indiana getting 5.5 points. I don't get this line even a little bit. Indiana's going to win 50 games. Indiana's 16-8 at home. They're a good home team. It's not easy to win by 6 on the road. Do I think Denver's better? Yes. But 6 points on the road, I really like Indiana. And Anthony, what do we keep talking about? Why are the Sixers laying 4.5 points? I'm not trying to overstate this. They may be the worst team in the NBA besides Washington. And, no, I'm not even being funny. I know you think I didn't say that to get like a rise out of people.
It's just gallows humor. I mean,
yeah.
What was the money line? Because we were wondering this.
We talked about it against the Nets.
Yeah, what was
against the Nets? They were getting plus like 460. I bet it.
You bet the Nets money line?
I bet the Nets. I told you I bet the Nets plus 11.5. I bet them plus 460. I think the Sixers are honestly, like we talk about VG's trash games. The Sixers should be the star, co-star, every star in the trash games.
Yeah, I'm not that low with the trash. Come on.
No, VG, you're the best. You're up here. They're oh my God, they're Pee Wee Herman. They're low. I mean, the Sixers to me, you gotta listen. I always say you choose to be right in life, or you choose to be consistent. People were just saying the Sixers, Daryl Moore. Oh, I see what do you say? I see a squint. Man,
squint.
If you squint, you can see a title. Yeah.
I'm buying him. I'll tell you what. Instead of buying him dinner, I'm buying him an eyeglass appointment. I'm buying him an eye doctor's appointment so he can squint better. Because man, there's a better chance they win the Super Bowl than they're in the NBA championship.
Hey, right? Real quick, because I got a little excited because it's just the first glimpse of it. Yesterday, we got to see some grapefruit baseball. So
can't wait.
During the course of the week, I want to ask you some future stuff.
Got a ton of stuff, Anthony. I could have a 10-hour conversation with you.
I love it. I love it. Future baseball, baby. Ooh. All right. So let's start with, I guess, your teams to win it or get there. We'll start teams, then we'll go into awards and everything, batting titles and home runs and all that stuff.
All that good stuff. You want to do it now or another day? What are we doing?
Well, give me one. Yeah, I want to do it now. I want to do.
Okay, all right. Well, look, Anthony, my biggest investments this year, and again, now part of this, boats left a little bit. I'm not going to lie, but this is what you have to do. In the offseason, I mean, I'm on Twitter reading stuff all the time. The Red Sox ownership said, we're going to make big aggressive moves. I got the Red Sox at 7-1 to win the division, 40-1 to win the World Series.
Wow.
That's my biggest, that's a great bet. I mean, I nailed that. They got Bregman. They got Crochet. I love them, even at plus 450 to win the division. I think the Yankees are down. I think Baltimore is my biggest under bet of the year. I think they're going down. Love the Red Sox. Even again, I got 7. I've even bet some at 6, some at 5.5, some at 5, even some at plus the current 450. I bet it because I really think the Red Sox are going to win that division. And then listen, this was a team last year I had. They didn't get there for me, but they were injured. They lost like their best 4 hitters before the year, 3 of the 4 best hitters. But I like the Reds in a trash division.
Yeah.
You can get plus 650 to win the division. I'm making this call right now. Reds win that division. Reds make the playoffs.
I like their lineup. I've always liked their lineup. I mean, their lineup.
And they're pitching, Anthony. They have 6 good starters.
Yeah.
They have 6 good starting pitchers. 6.
Green.
6 quality starters.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And they're gonna be good. And again, in that division, it's the worst division in baseball, probably. Those would be 2 teams. You don't need me to tell you the Phillies and Dodgers are good. Right. You already know that. I would say long shot bets. Red Sox should still get 4.5 to 1 odds. Reds, you can get 6.5 to 1 odds to win the division. Those are my Joe Namath guarantees for the day.
I like it. Hey, real quick on the East. No,
yes, sir.
I don't believe in the Mets. I don't know. I think they're over. I think they're puffed out.
Well, Anthony, listen, obviously getting Soto helps, but what helped the Mets last year, and here's where they could fall down, right, was they got, now again, the question is, has he turned the corner? The lefty, Manaea. pitched great for them. Never pitched that well in his career. He gave them not Cy Young year, but not that far off.
He was fantastic. He switched his
but he's also
we
the kind of guy
that
he could go down too, right? Because it's a guy in 8 years, he's had one good year.
Right.
So you can't say that you can count on him. But they do get Anthony Senga back, which is a big thing. And also the guy Peterson, who I always thought was trash, pitched great for them last year. He's a guy I bet against that
Peterson. I'm just not a big.
No, neither do I. He gave, and I want to give you, Anthony, 2 props that are good, and I'll let you run. I know you're up against it. James Harden, 22-10, under 5.5 rebounds his last 32. 22-10, taking a price on under 5.5 rebounds. Thank you. And then Zachary Richeche, the rookie from the Hawks, he's getting a lot more minutes recently. Okay, he's averaging around 16 points his last dozen games or so. Over 11.5 points, 7 and 3 to the over. 2 of those landed exactly on 11, like his over.
I like it. All right. Great stuff, Brain, as always.
Appreciate you guys. You're the best.
There he is, the Brain.
Nebraska tonight against Brains, Michigan.
Oh, I like to ask him. Michigan. I like Michigan.
Yeah, I like Nebraska with that 1.5 tonight at home.
Here's the one thing you got to watch is Nebraska doesn't have size, and Michigan's got size. So, We'll see. You're all about the hustle.
I think he said Michigan. I saw him lip something before.
He said Michigan?
Yeah, I could see that he said
I like Michigan.
Or no. He likes Nebraska.
He likes Nebraska?
Yeah, she gave it a thumbs up. Yeah,
here he goes. Look at this. You're on it. Yeah, he just said it. I bet Nebraska. He bet Nebraska. Wow. He's on the same page as VG. Look at that. And listen, he knows his team. I just thought size-wise, it's interesting because Michigan's got a lot of size. Anyway, lots to get to still. Mike Sielski, the great columnist for The Inquirer, is going to join us coming up in just a moment. But let's talk about the Brain. He's always about the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Yes, download it because it's not over yet. Like we talked about futures, and there's still ways to have some fun and get some skin in the game. Tomorrow, take the Flyers over team total.
All
right. Trust me. The Caps put up, they wrecked them on Saturday, Pittsburgh. And then yesterday, Pittsburgh lost again, right, to the Rangers. So the Flyers, they're playing no defense.
No goal line up yet.
All right.
They'll probably come out
tomorrow. I like the Flyers team total. I think their offense is going to click again, like it clicked against Edmonton. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, you can do all that stuff on the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app and all the casino games. Oh, they're so much fun. My man over here loves it. He's all about the baccarat. He likes the live dealer blackjack, the live dealer roulette, live dealer craps, all the hot online slots. What'd you say about the bonuses?
Oh, I like the ones where you just buy the bonus, like $15 to buy the bonus. Sometimes you end up getting $2. Sometimes you get $80. Who knows?
Look at that. He's all about the VG. So you got the sports, all the fun casino
Squid games. I was playing a little Squid Game slot this weekend.
Oh, yeah? Nice. Right. Make your downtime fun time with the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. New customers get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down the first 24 hours. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. And let's talk about Primos. You know, during the course of the week, trust me, I know. My wife and I share the cooking when it comes to our family. So there's games. We're starting baseball. So we got baseball stuff going on. Anthony's rowing in the off season.
Oh,
football.
Great.
Yeah, he did well. He had a meet on Saturday.
Dude, where wrestling and rowing put you in great shape.
Oh my God, yeah. Like
cardio with the weights.
The other day, man, I was like, damn, dude, you ready for linebacker? You're gonna be a beast to deal with. So our schedules are busy. So you can't always cook. And the kids love Primos, man. So you're making your family. You can make it Primo using only the finest human meats and cheeses. All right. Sliced fresh to order every sandwich. All right. It's the greatest. You know, the rolls baked in store every couple hours. Using that Licio's recipe, which is tremendous. You got to get to Primo Hoagies and take the stress out of cooking during the week. Pick a night and you can make it Primo night. PrimoHoagies.com. And I've been telling you for 25 years, it's not just a hoagie. It's a Primo. All right. This portion of the program brought to you by Rite Aid, riteaid.com, all right, to find the nearest store and pharmacy. All right, joining us now, he is the fabulous columnist, great author. And in fact, let's work on him getting in here. His new book is out, all right? That's all about the dunk. The great Mike Sielski. Michael, there it is.
Yeah, nice.
Look at that.
And are we going to start out by talking about Father Judge?
Yes.
Well,
in
relax.
fact,
Boo.
he was in attendance. My man of the great Northeast right here was in attendance.
Are you a Judge guy?
No, I have several friends who are Judge guys, though, including the guy who was my roommate my first 2 years in college. So much celebrating in the far Northeast yesterday, I know.
It'll be a very happy summer in North Wildwood at Keenan's and the likes this summer.
Well played, sir.
Yeah, I heard Maggie's on the waterfront was popping last night with the after party up in the Northeast.
There you go, baby. That's fantastic.
Recent polls at Grant and the Boulevard, right?
That PCL semifinals and final is a treasure. Palestra.
It is what the Big Five used to be.
Yeah. Great point.
Building was packed up in the corners, people standing everywhere. It was a fun day yesterday.
I was talking to Danny because the guy in charge, the commissioner of the league, is our friend Danny D Bernadidis from St. Joe's Prep, and I was with him on Friday, and he's like, dude, he goes, like, it's crazy the amount of people, the coaches, the celebrities, like everybody wants to see it and wants a piece of it.
Connor Barwin was in the house. Mark Jackson, of course, his two kids were playing. He was courtside.
Yeah, it's that building is a Philadelphia treasure, man.
Yep, absolutely.
So let's talk about basketball for a second, and I'm not going to belabor it because we got a lot of other things to cover. When we get you, I like to run the 4-for-4 gamut each week because, as one of the premier voices of the city when it comes to print, you're in all of it. So let's start with the dreck that is the Sixers. Shut them down, question mark?
They should have shut them down a while ago.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I were talking about this early in the season, and they were 2-12. You don't recover from that. And I said this on WIP Saturday morning. I'm not normally a conspiracy theorist, but I find it interesting that the Sixers were not about shutting down Embiid or Paul George. There was all this talk about, well, if we do this and that, and then we get in the play-in, and who knows what can happen in the playoffs. And then as soon as the arena situation was settled and this new direction was embarked on, that you're going to get the arena in South Philly, and everybody was on board with it, then all of a sudden there's a discussion about, what do we have to do about Joel and Paul George, and maybe shutting them down is the best thing. So they should have been thinking this way a long time ago. You and I have talked about it. The only chance I see them having of pulling themselves out of this is to get a top 6 pick in the draft and add a young dynamic player who can possibly step in right away. You're not going to do that by limping towards the end of the season playing Embiid and George.
No, that's it. But if you squint, you could see a championship, as Daryl Morey told us. Where will that in the history, the Pantheon of Philadelphia quotes, infamous quotes, where will that be?
That'll be up there because it's the perfect bookend to the beginning of the process, right? This controversial strategy that half the area thought was great and half the area thought was terrible, and just having that, if you squint, you can see a championship after Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz and letting Jimmy Butler walk away or trading him away, and all of Embiid's injuries and burner accounts from Brian Colangelo and all the crap that has gone on with this organization over the last 10 years. What's that?
Okafor and Okafor's dad.
Yeah, all of it. All of it. And to have Daryl say that, look, I like Daryl. I get along with him well, but come on.
So it's interesting because I would do it all over again. I was firmly, for the process. I don't know where you were.
I was for it.
Yeah.
I was absolutely for it. Yeah.
I was for it, and I thought that was their only way to escape purgatory. That is the NBA, and they just mismanaged it.
They absolutely did. Look, I know Sam Hinkie is considered like this terrible figure now because he ushered in this strategy. I get it, but the thing that people forget is Hinkie was completely upfront about the reality that the strategy might not work. On those rare occasions when he spoke publicly, he would say it time and time again, this might not work. We're swinging big here. But if it pays off, it'll be terrific. And people forget that. People assumed it was, oh, well, they're going to be great. They're guaranteeing they're going to be great. And the guy who came up with the strategy, honest to God, never said that. All that being said, you can't draft all those guys they drafted other than Embiid and hope that this is going to work out. You just can't.
Well, no. And here's the thing. There was a point that I was told that ownership was getting antsy, right? And ownership was like, all right, we got to now, are we ready to kind of get our core and kind of start the process of trying to win? And he was like, no. They asked him, and they got Simmons, they got Embiid, and he still was in tank mode. And he was like, no, we need to. And when they asked him for a timetable, he said, I don't know when, but not for now and not for the near future. We still need to tank. And I think then you had the NBA pressure. And then it was like, all right, well, Hinkie dies for our sins.
Yeah, I mean, look, I got along great with Sam. I didn't think he was a guru the way some people seem to regard him, like he was the patron saint of brilliant, roster management or something like that. I think people were just desperate to see something new out of the Sixers to a large degree, other than years and years of having your best player be Andre Miller or Andre Iguodala, something like that. But look at where they are now, man. It just you couldn't mismanage a team better, and they stand in such contrast to what the Eagles did in terms of the accent on culture and the fact that all the intangible stuff kind of matters. The Sixers got soulless over time, and I think that's part of what plays into the backlash they're experiencing now. They didn't build up any goodwill with anybody, and here they are, and people are kind of dancing on their graves.
Yeah, and I think less than that. I love your point about the details and about culture, but I think it's less than that. I think, it's different than goodwill. I think it's more about how they handled their players. Yeah, right. Like they were enablers throughout their whole careers. All right, and what happened now? Part of it's the league itself, because the league is all about enabling player empowerment and the whole thing, which is now biting the league. But, they created monsters. Like, they created these figures, and stark contrast. You bring it up, the Eagles and Vic Fangio, and you saw the Jalix Hunt thing. We'll show you a little bit later. Jalix Hunt telling a great story about Vic saying, bringing everybody in to watch the second half of the Super Bowl and saying 22 points, that's unacceptable.
Yep.
I mean, how incredible. That's the attention to detail that you're talking about.
Yeah, that you're 100% right. And look, you can excuse the Sixers' position and this tack that they took only in this regard. The NBA has certain markets that are more desirable to players than others, right? Players want to go to South Beach. Players want to go to LA. Players want to go to New York. And I'm sure at some level the Sixers were saying to themselves, like, why, we've got to make it a place where players want to be, and we're going to give them some freedom. but that only takes you so far. That only takes you so far. And you're right. They let the player empowerment movement really kind of take over. They were a franchise who kind of came to embody that. And I'll say this, people forget this, Ant. The consummate example of that is Ben Simmons, right? Everybody rips Ben Simmons, and rightfully so, for doing what he did. But Ben Simmons figured out, and Rich Paul figured out, that as soon as the Sixers signed him to that long-term max contract, they were ceding all the leverage to Ben Simmons. And Ben Simmons got what he wanted. After a year, he decided he didn't want to be in Philadelphia anymore. He didn't want to play. He didn't play. The Sixers were worse for him not playing because they couldn't replace him for the longest time. They were waiting and waiting and waiting. And finally, they had to trade him. Like, that to me is the ultimate example of what we're talking about here. You know, the concept of like Ben Simmons having to live up to that contract never entered his mind. In his mind, in the culture of the NBA and the way the Sixers had set themselves up, he was out for himself. He was doing what everybody in this league is been conditioned to do over time. And you're right, the league is suffering for it.
So do you bring Morey back? I mean, Nurse, I think, is gone. Morey will probably be back because he's owed a lot of money, and they're not going to pay another executive a lot of money. They'll probably say, well, give him a chance to get out of it. Should he be back, though? Forget about the contract. Should he be back, or should someone with fresh eyes come in here?
I mean, it's going to be a mess one way or another. You know, you can get somebody with fresh eyes, but I mean, you still have Embiid and George and Maxey on the books. So unless they get incredibly creative and things break their way, I'm not sure that whoever you bring in is going to be able to undo what has already been done. As far as Darryl goes,
well, what you do is real quick. What you're doing is you're bringing someone in to get the process. I hate to use the word, but get that thing started.
I guess
rebuild underway, right? Like
it's symbolic as much as anything. Like here's the break. You know, we're starting fresh. I get that. Yeah. As far as Darryl, I need him. This past offseason really disappointed me. I feel like they had to sign Embiid in a way to that contract. Are you going to let him walk away? Are you going to trade him? You get a player like that, you have to take the chance that he will find a way to manage the knee issues. Here's the thing. I want to see what Darryl's second move is. It was one thing to go get Harden and to build a team around him in Houston around the three-point shot, and it almost worked. What's your next innovation? I haven't seen it yet, other than star chasing. Like, what is your next creative thing that you are going to do to build a championship caliber team? I haven't seen that yet, other than, go get James Harden again, and then go sign the biggest name on the free agent market, which has immediately blown up in your face.
We started the segment talking about the PCL championship and the Palestra, and you said it's what the Big Five used to be. Well, I now give you Temple, Villanova, St. Joe's, LaSalle, Penn. And it's going to be a dark March. What's the future of Philadelphia college basketball as March approaches?
It ain't great. Look, I think of college basketball, and college football is this way to a certain degree, but it's a continuum, right? On one end of the continuum, is the completely transactional nature of what is happening in college sports now. It is players want to get paid, programs and universities want to pay them. That's it. That's what the relationship comes down to. At the other end of the continuum is what programs like St. Joe's, LaSalle, Penn to a certain degree, Villanova to a certain degree are trying to do, which is, look, we can get you money. And in Villanova's case, we can get you quite a bit of money. But we're also selling you on, come to us for 4 years. The campus culture will be beneficial to you. You will grow academically, spiritually in some cases if you're a Catholic university, and you'll have a great 4 years there. That's a really hard thing to sell in this environment now. And trust me, as a LaSalle alum, like, you know, my alma mater doesn't have the money to compete in the landscape the way it is now. They just don't. And I don't see any of these schools doing that. And here's the other thing too, Ant. You now have an identity crisis among some of these schools. That's what's killed Temple's program over the last few years. Temple had an identity in the Atlantic 10 with John Chaney, and then to a slightly lesser degree with Fran Dunphy. Then they started chasing football money, and they're in a conference they have no business being in. Good luck recruiting to Temple now to play some of the schools that they're playing. LaSalle has an identity crisis. I'm not sure they should be in the Atlantic 10 anymore. They just think they're not going to be able to compete. They're not. They don't have the resources. They don't have the money. St. Joe's is going through this to a lesser degree. So I think you're right. I think it's going to be dark around here for a while when it comes to the tournament. Unless Villanova somehow makes a run in the Big East tournament in a couple of weeks, it's going to be the third straight year that no Big Five team is in the dance. And, you know, who'd have thunk that 10, 15 years ago?
Well, it's interesting because you look at what Pitino's doing at St. John's and how listen, we made no bones about it. We're not recruiting. We're going to build a team through the portal, and we're going to pay them. And they destroy UConn yesterday. They're going to be a tough out in the tournament, and he's rebuilt the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Catholic university, and if you consider what Rick Pitino's background is, the fact that they hired him is just a total concession to the reality of the sport now. We will raise money from our alumni. We will pay these athletes. Go get the best athletes. And any program that's trying to do it in a different way, even one that like St. Bonaventure, right? They should be one of those culture kind of places, and they are to a certain degree, but they're flexing now with Woj's money because he's the general manager of that program.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do if you're St. Joe's LaSalle and you don't have the deep-pocketed alumni that some of these other places do?
Yeah. No.
I'm looking at recruiting, just college recruiting from the high school kids for this class. Villanova's class is ranked 66. Like they have one recruit, one like 5-4 3-star recruit coming in. Like what? How are they falling off so quick?
I know. No,
because of Jay. Because of Jay and the changed landscape. Jay could sell. Yes. He could sell. Stay here 2 years at least,
and you go to.
And NBA. I will make you an NBA player, and you will thrive in this environment, this college environment, this academic and social environment. That's gone. That's gone. You just got to pay these guys.
Yeah. All right. Do you have spring fever? You saw the first glimpse. It's a rite of passage in Philadelphia. The first telecast of a Phillies spring training game.
Yeah, of course you have to have spring fever. I do. I'm looking forward to it. You get that feeling. I do enjoy going down. I've enjoyed the times I've gone down to Clearwater to cover spring training. I've enjoyed the times I've had, the opportunities I've had to enjoy myself down there, just watching games. I took my dad down a few years ago. He had never been. We had a blast over a couple of days. I am really curious to see, and I know it's not really like consequential to the team they're going to be, like over the long term. It doesn't matter that much. It's just kind of a talking point. But I am curious to see what the lineup looks like. I am really curious to see if Trey Turner actually does lead off. And if he does, will it change his approach at the plate? That's where I'm curious. I really want to see what Turner does this season.
That, to me, because you nailed it. Turner is the key to the whole thing. You know what Schwarber's going to do. You know what Bryce is going to do. You know what the rest of that lineup. JT will be back. He'll be healthier. He'll give you a little bit more. I expect more out of Stott. Bohm's going to – but I still like Bohm. I do. All right. But the true engine, the way that they become dominant again, because I think they're going to make the playoffs, pitching is good, is going to be Turner. And he's going to be the one. He needs to have a big year and then take it through the playoffs.
Yeah, and he needs to be the guy that the Phillies thought they were getting and that all the fans thought they were getting.
Yes.
Which was a guy who puts pressure on the other team's defense and pitchers. A guy who hits doubles and triples and steals bases. Not a guy who waves and misses at a slider on the outside part of the plate. we don't need to see Trey Turner hit 30 home runs this season. You need to see him hit 40 doubles and 10 triples and steal more than 19 bases. He needs to be not as passive a player as he has been since he's joined the Phillies.
So you're spot on. He's got to steal bases. He has to be a threat, a huge threat. He's got to make things happen. He's got to be an engine. He's got to be Jimmy Rollins.
Yeah, he absolutely does. And you know what else? I know I just said that the lineup is irrelevant, and to a large degree it is. But here's the way it's not, and I'll maintain this. I have no issue. I have one small issue with Kyle Schwarber leading off the last couple of years, and it's the only issue I have with it because he was terrific, saw a lot of pitches, hit a lot of leadoff home runs. It's great to have that thunder in your leadoff hitter, but he's a home run hitter who strikes out a lot. And your leadoff hitter is supposed to be, to one degree or another, a tone setter for the rest of the order. And when you have Kyle Schwarber leading off, it's almost like giving a permission structure to the rest of the lineup to hit the way he does. It's subtle. It's not overt. It's not like they're going up saying, I got to be Schwarber.
No,
but
you're right.
They are going up there saying, this is who we are. And if you put Turner up there and he is the guy who they thought they were getting, it changes the dynamic of the lineup, I think.
I agree. I think you're spot on with that. All right, finally, last thing for you. My man, a buddy of mine, Danny, texts me, and he says, I hate the fact that you hate Rocky IV. So you
hate Rocky IV. You, Anthony.
Yes, he hates the fact that I hate Rocky IV because I think Rocky IV is ridiculous. It's just too. It's way, way absurd. It's just ridiculous, right? Okay. And he says, I hate the fact that you hate it because for all these years, I've always railed against 4. I mean, it's my listen. After 4, they're all bad, but
they are. But Anthony, I have 2 questions. Number 1, did you not want to win the Cold War? And why do you hate America? Rocky IV is amazing. You know why Rocky IV is amazing? It comes out in 1985.
Right.
And it is the longest music video in MTV history. Yeah. Half of that movie is nothing but montages and over music, over John Cafferty and Survivor.
Logs on your back.
Yes. That's what makes it great. It is amazing as the
needle in the arm for Drago.
Yes, as a time capsule, it is absolutely perfect. Is it absurd as a piece of movie making? Of course it is. Of course. But man, I watched that and I am back to being 10 years old in the middle of the 80s with excess and shared culture. And damn it, we're going to beat the Soviets in everything. And I love it.
Here's the point, right? The point is it was stupid and schlock. And it could have been good. Like, you could have, like, the idea, like, this is my biggest issue with 3 and 4 is that the premise behind both of them are good. Like, the idea that Mickey has, set up a bunch of paper champions, right? So he can defend the title. Now, he doesn't need to suddenly is erudite and all of a sudden overnight he starts, now he's a professor of the English language, which is stupid, right? But you could have taken him and made him a real it could have been really good. And 4 could have been the same thing. Like the idea of boxing is built on the clash of cultures, right? Like that sport is built the way way we just saw with 4 nations, that sports is supposed to be the replacement for war, right? Like it's a way to compete and for supremacy. It's beautiful in that way. And it could have been great. And he made that. That's my beef.
Anthony, in my head, I agree with everything you just said. In my heart, all I can hear is, I must break you. And that's it. I'm a sucker for it. Sorry. And remember, Ant, if I can change and you can change, then everybody can change.
Oh, man. I can't wait till he fights China next. That'll be good.
All by himself, yes.
Mike, you're the greatest. Give me a day. Text me later today when you're free next week so we can do a whole appearance on the book.
Sounds great. I'm in.
Buddy.
I'll text you later today. Thanks, guys.
What a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Mike Sielski, terrific columnist from the Inquirer. You get my point, right?
I get your point. Yes.
It could have been really good. Like the realism piece of it could have been great.
Could it really? You believe in it?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Even, listen, as, you know, with any kind of film series, right? Franchise movie, the more you make, the more ridiculous they are. But if you actually treat it almost like the way we treat episodic series now, where it's great storytelling, you have the ability to follow that guy from Palooka, right? Who gets this lottery ticket of a chance to win the title. It winds up winning the title, is propped up as a paper champion. Then here comes this Mr. T kind of dude, right? Without all the ridiculousness, right?
Love Clubber.
Right? But the idea of Clubber Lang is brilliant, right? Like this fearsome guy. But they have to this Hollywood it and make it horrible. And then the same thing.
Rocky III.
Then the same thing with 4, with the idea of him fighting this champion out of Russia. Like you could have made it so good and compelling and interesting.
Was there a robot butler?
Yes.
Because the chat is talking about a robot butler in Rocky IV.
Rocky had a robot. He saw the future. He had a robot.
Yeah.
First right. He saw Elon Musk back then had the robot.
That's ridiculous.
I almost think they kind of, I don't know the timeline.
No, it's Hollywood trash.
But it's a timeline.
Is what they did to it.
But it was also, wrestling had a really great Cold War thing going on with Kita Ku, I don't know the guy's name.
No, the guy from Iran. Who was the guy?
There was the Iron Sheik.
The Iron Sheik.
But there was also Nikolai Volkov.
The Volkov, yes.
So I think, like, I don't know, it felt like it was similar in vein to that kind of stuff.
Right, but therein lies the point. You're taking
Give the people what they want, Anthony.
You're taking your cue for that?
Yeah, that's what the people want.
It could have been so good. That's my listen, as a storyteller, therein lies when I look back, I look on it, right? Like I think 1 and 2 are
Siberia
really
to
good.
work out. So good. I like those Siberian workout scenes.
Oh my God. And then, he's in a leather jacket. Come on, man. Come on, bro.
That's ridiculous.
He's running with brother. He's got the lock.
Yes.
The lock.
What is the theme of that one?
He's right, though. It is an MTV video, man. It's the truth. All right. Taking some business, and we do the best and worst of the weekend, plus VG's Nugs. All right. Let's I can't take it.
Living in America was the song.
Yes.
Living in America.
Yeah.
Coast to coast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
James Brown.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, you're hating on. You start to hate Rocky 5 and on. 4's fine. 5, they go off the cliff.
Same guy who likes naked. What is it?
Oh, I got Todd on that last night. His mind was blown. Naked Attraction.
Oh, you had Todd watching that?
Oh, yes, he did.
So let me ask you a question before we get to our spot real quick.
Yeah.
All this weekend, there was plenty of downtime with sports, right? There's some great stuff out there right now. I watched this show. I loved it. 1880s East London. And it's called 1,000 Blows. bare knuckle fighting.
Oh yeah, that's sweet.
Right. It's a great story. Female thieves. You have these two guys from Jamaica who emigrate to England. It's a really good show. I enjoyed it. I watched
check that out.
I watched first 2 episodes. Good stuff. Then you have the new De Niro thriller that's on Netflix.
Yeah.
All right. Whatever. It's getting good reviews. You got the
White Lotus.
White
everyone
Lotus.
watches.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you go Naked Attraction. And then you got Todd, our critic, on Naked Attraction.
This is a quote, a text from Todd. This is a quote at 9:21 p.m. last night. Dude, Naked Attraction is all caps outrageous. Yeah.
I'm about. Did you really say? I'm texting him right now. Say Naked Attraction
is outrageous.
Is outrageous.
All caps.
If so, you will
dead to me.
You will be replaced.
Delete the texts.
You will be replaced.
Never happened.
I just said that. Did you?
Yep. That's what's up.
All right, let's talk about.
I started with White Lotus last night. I fell asleep. I'm gonna try and get back into it tonight.
Okay, but Naked Attraction kept you up.
Hey, you don't know because you haven't seen it.
Interesting.
You haven't seen it.
But Todd said
it's nice in 20-minute chunks. You don't have to commit to it. You see an episode is 20 minutes.
I don't want that.
You're in and you're out.
I don't want 20-minute chunks. I want something I can dive into.
Well, this is the guy who won't sit and watch a movie that's longer than 2.5 hours.
You are a
he's
dichotomy.
the chunk.
Because here's the thing. He's a dichotomy. I want to think he has great taste.
Amazing taste.
But everything of his that he likes is horrendous.
Love Island.
Good stuff.
He won't watch.
Great drama. Unscripted.
All right.
If you're a talented filmmaker and writer, you don't need more than 2.5 hours for a film. That's it. You just pour at your job. Tell a story in less than 2.5 hours.
I disagree with that.
How many amazing, great classic movies are less than 2.5 hours?
Hate that.
I
hate him.
Unless you're a Coppola or a Kubrick, some master filmmaker, sure. But you just have hacks making 2.5 hour movies.
Well, it's different. It's a different argument. Yeah. It's different. You already conceded that.
I will watch a 2.5 hour Kubrick. If they found a 3-hour Kubrick film, I watch it.
Between all what we watch now in the way episodic television is dramas, they are all mini movies.
Yeah, it's an hour long each.
Yeah.
You get like 10 episodes, so you're watching essentially 10 hours of a
It's
of
a different
movie.
director for every hour episode a lot of times. And I really don't like Game of Thrones.
That's
Game
my
of
point.
Thrones, I'm out.
That's my point.
I gotta watch how many hours of this show?
Oh, Game of
That's
Thrones
my
is great.
point. That's why you're a dichotomy.
If it's good, I'll watch it. It's so far in between that things are good
But
these
you
days.
watch trash,
Yeah, but they're in bites. They're like 45-minute bites.
40 minutes of trash.
I'm the trash man.
You
They don't
really
call me that
are
for
the
no
trash
reason.
man.
Yeah, you are.
They don't call me that for no reason.
You just flushed 45 minutes of your life down the toilet. You got nothing
so not
to
down
nourish.
the toilet.
Looking at somebody's junk behind a curtain.
You got nothing to nourish your
Not
soul.
behind a curtain.
Listen, great film and TV nourishes your soul. It's got to do something for you.
Oh,
Right?
100%.
It should
You
nourish
act
your
like
soul.
there's great TV everywhere, though. Great TV is so hard to find. This content stinks these days. I'm sorry. They're not making great content.
Some of it is. You just got to look and
It's
find
very
it.
rare. Yeah. I find it to be very rare these days.
All right. Let's go to, let's tell you about our fine sponsors like Parks Casino, our casino of choice right here on the show. Action, excitement, headline entertainment, concerts, comedy, MMA, and boxing at the state-of-the-art Excite Center. That's right. Plus thousands of slots, live table games, state-of-the-art sportsbook, beautiful poker room, and a collection of award-winning restaurants. Parks Casino, this is how you win. Pennsylvania's #1 casino. 3,200 hot slots, over 115 live table games, and much more. Tickets on sale right now for these headliners. You ready? March 7th, Scotty McCreery from American Idol.
Just give me 5 more minutes of that 4-hour movie. Just give me 5 more minutes, please. I need 5 more minutes.
March 8th, magician Michael Carbonaro. Make him disappear.
Poof.
March 22nd, country star Lee Bryce.
Well, there's a rumor going around about me and you.
How about April 24th, live?
Oh, now I feel it coming back again. Like a rolling thunder chasing the wind.
It's so bad. May 16th, comedian Larry the Cable Guy.
Get her done.
June 27th, comedian Trevor Wallace.
All right, Trevor.
That's what you got. July 12th,
Yeah,
Mark Norman, the great comedian.
Yeah, funny guys.
Mark?
Don't forget dinner and drinks before the show. We got to get the other acts. I got to get him to put all the acts in.
Yeah, because there's also
the Isley Brothers.
All American Rejects are playing there, I think.
Everybody's at Parks.
Yeah.
Parks Casino, parkscasino.com to buy tickets for all shows. Parks Casino. This is how you win. You got to be 21. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I read a great article about Natalie Portman. She is in Yellow Jackets, and live the band's music is featured in it, and she loathes it.
Oh, really?
She is so brutally open and honest in this interview I read this weekend.
Natalie Portman's in Yellow Jackets?
Yeah, I guess so, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen her.
Yeah.
Is she maybe in the new season? She must be.
Okay. Maybe.
Shady Rays.
Shady Rays. The sun's coming out. It was out yesterday. We should have a good week. Spring's coming. Then it'll be summer. So protect your eyes. It's never too early to start thinking about the summer and the sun in your eyes. So our friends over at Shady Rays are helping you get in the right frame of mind with their premium polarized shades that don't break your bank. Shady Rays, an independent sunglass company offering a world-class product with rated 5 stars by over 300,000 satisfied customers. These glasses have durable frames, crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all your outdoor activities. And if you're a skier or snowboarder, Shady Rays, they got a brand new collection of snow goggles to help you see clearly and look good on the slopes, available in adult and kid sizes. They got all kinds of colors available, so you can match your color of your goggles or your frames to your favorite teams. And check this out. If your shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, don't sweat it. They have the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by their lost or broken replacement program. And if you don't love your shades, exchange them for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop at Shady Rays. PHLY viewers and listeners, go to shadyrays.com and save 35% off polarized sunglasses with the code PHLY. Over 300,000 people have rated Shady Rays 5 stars. So use the code PHLY today at shadyrays.com.
All right. Thank you, my brother. We appreciate it. All right. Best and worst of the weekend. So we got VG's Nugs and some best and worst of the weekend. Hey, you know what's interesting? I brought this up, and I freaking love this. J-Lix Hunt was talking about Vic Fangio. And this was so awesome. And it's so indicative of how good the Eagles are, right? I love this. I love that Fangio has them and says, no, we got to watch the second half of this Super Bowl. We gave up 22 points in the second half. That's unacceptable.
I love it. I love it. It's everything you want out of your defensive coordinator.
Right.
Yeah, it's great. I have the clip right here. I'll play it for you.
Let's do it.
He's just a cool Italian guy. He started really opening up to us the more the season went on. When he first got there, he was judging everybody. After we won the Super Bowl, we came in, I think we had the parade Friday. On Thursday, we came in just for a team meeting to let everybody know how the parade was gonna go. The offense dips out. Vic, defense come out. He goes over, we have a checklist each game of what we need to do. And if you get a yes in those boxes, 9 times out of 10 win. Did we win? Yes. Did we hold them to less than 4 explosive plays? Yes. Did we win on 3rd down conversions? Yes. Did we win on 4th down conversions? Did we stop them in the red zone? Did we miss tackles? Did we sack Mahomes? Each thing. He goes to just the first half stats. Good. We stopped them here. They got negative 55 yards, negative 11 in the first half. This is unacceptable. Circles the second half. Unacceptable. 22 points. We won. They didn't score in the first half. We're having a meeting after the Super Bowl. He wants perfection.
Is that not awesome? Is that not fantastic?
It's leadership. Everything you want out of leadership. And he's showing these young kids, this is how you do it, man. Never satisfied. He's the best.
I got to tell you, I love that. I can't get enough of that. To me, and I love the fact, now obviously you win, you're going to get young guys to buy in.
Yeah.
Right? Like you win, you're going to buy in. Like Jalen's like, yeah, he's just cool old Italian guy. Like he's bought in, man. And he's like, and now the beauty going forward is that they've established this culture. And so Jalix Hunt, right, this young project who I think is going to be really good, or could be real good, is bought in. Everybody's bought in. Jalen Carter's bought it. Like they're bought into this. That's building culture to win.
Total culture. Total winning culture. And I also like that he's speaking to like kind of the backups towards the end. You know, they're going to have, some of them may have bigger roles next year.
Yes.
And this is unacceptable what happened in the second half of this game. And you guys got to step it up. The messaging is amazing.
It really is. It's so good. I got to tell you.
He seems crazy. You would think he's out of his mind for doing it.
I freaking love it. I freaking love it.
Yeah.
Also, one of my things I like for the weekend, can I laud an opposing player?
Sure.
Yeah.
Depends on who it is.
All right. Ovi.
Oh, yeah.
I need to go laud Ovechkin.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
I got to tell you. So yesterday it was I had some time to kill, and so I was just like, we had baseball in the morning, and then we had some stuff to do in the afternoon, and so I just wanted to just zone out and put sports on like I do on Sundays, right?
Sure, yeah.
And basketball was unwatchable, right? Like it was blowouts. So I put on a hockey game and I'm watching Washington, right? And Ovechkin, I can't believe at this age, he's outrageous. Like he just takes over a game. He has a hat trick yesterday. He had an open net.
It's outrageous.
He had an empty netter. He's the king of the hunt and the empty nets. Hat trick yesterday. The people are going nuts. Right?
Yeah, he's closing.
He's sitting on the edge of the boards. He's high-fiving his kid who's in the stand with his wife.
Oh, nice.
He is such a showman. He's so great. He's still, and his shot is just a bullet. Like he's just an amazing player. A great, great player who's old, and yet he's great. He's still great.
Still great. It's a shame he's never sniffed winning. Like he's not even been close with the Caps, right?
They won.
Well, they won
They won?
Yeah.
He's won a cup?
Yes.
Back in
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
2017 or 2016 or something.
Well, the whole talk about, because they're really good. Washington's really good.
Yeah.
And the whole talk is him, getting back there.
He's everything. Like, if there was any player I always wished was a Flyer, it would be him, because he's kind of what I think we thought Lindros would be. Because he's physical. He's got an edge to him.
He's a power forward.
Yeah.
He's got a great shot, though. Like, he's cool.
He's cool.
He's cool. He's so cool.
Yeah.
And he's older, and he's still great. Like, he's still great.
And he's like giving Michkov.
And he they had a double minor. They played Edmonton, right? Flyers beat Edmonton on Saturday. Washington played Edmonton yesterday. So they had a power play.
Edmonton giving up a lot of goals.
Oh, yeah. Well, they played no defense. But they have a two-man advantage and a double minor, right? He's on the ice for the whole shift.
Wow.
He was on the ice for 5 minutes and like 22 seconds.
Wow.
That's
the
outrageous.
Second longest shift in the NHL this year.
How old is he?
Right.
How old is he, though? Do we know? 38, 40?
40, yeah. I mean, he's on the ice 5.5 minutes straight. Second longest shift in the NHL. Right now, he's on pace.
He's 39.
39, yeah.
He's on pace to break Gretzky's record in April.
Yeah.
His
Love
goal
to see
record.
it.
I mean, he's unbelievable. I was like, and the crowd's freaking out. Ovi. Like, I'm like, damn. And I started thinking about Michkov going, Michkov's got the same toughness that he's a different player. He's a way more skilled, that kind of guy. But
he's got more points than games played this year. That's
dude,
outrageous.
He's insane, dude.
That's outrageous.
He's insane. He, by the way, he had like 9 shots on goal. He could have had. He had an open net that he just flubbed, and he's looking at his stick, going, "What happened there?" He would have had 4. He's just unreal. Still, I love players that are still great, and we don't talk enough about Ovechkin.
No, and he's almost like a Yager. Like
he's just great.
Yager's still playing somewhere.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Maniacs. Hey, I also want to give a shout. We gave Father Judge some love. Imhotep won their 5th straight public league title.
Dude, they're good.
So they're a
dynasty.
Dynasty. They're going to match up with Father Judge Friday night, I think, at LaSalle's Arena. That'll be for the city title.
That's a great. You kidding me? They're a dynasty.
They got 4 D1 recruits on Imhotep. Like only 1 for this year, but they're young.
Yeah,
most of their kids are juniors and
they're
sophomores.
strong.
Yes,
they are strong. And that was it. That was you brought up. You were in attendance yesterday.
Yes, the Palestra. That's my best of my weekend.
That's
easily.
the best of the week. Yeah. We're going through the best of the weekend, and then I got to throw the Phillies best of the weekend because I was catching, just seeing the first shots of a game.
Yeah,
is a rite of passage.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I still obviously you're not locked in. It's whatever, but just to see it, you're like, wow.
They got to throw Tyler Phillips in though. Give us something for the first.
I think the kid
give us something. Give us
Cherry
something.
Hill kid.
I know, but give us something for the first game we tune in.
No, you don't do that. Just see. All you got to do is watch. You're always asking for something.
It's spring ball. Like, you don't need anyone in.
So what else you got? I know you got a couple things you wanted to get off your chest. A couple VG nugs.
Yeah, definitely. There was this one thing, talking about baseball, Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber were talking about the lineup and where they're going to be hitting. I thought this was really good. Pull it up for you guys here.
Obviously, I'm a 3-hole hitter, and I have been. But whenever they tell me to hit 2 or 4, I've done that in the past, as you guys know. So I want to win. So I don't care what that takes. You want to start out hot, and you're going to go the ebbs and flows of the season, obviously. But as a team, we just need to understand to just play the game all year long, play it right, play hard, take the ebbs and flows, and get hot at the right time. Obviously, by the end of the year, and I mean, obviously, I want to win the division. That's the first thing, and then get into postseason and stuff like that. But doesn't matter if you're the best team in baseball or not. You just got to go in there and play the game and do it the right way all the way through.
At the end of the day, it's gonna come down to us. We know that we have a good team. It's kind of we've had about the same core players for the last going on year 3, things like that. Year 4, we know what we have. I don't think there's any shock, and I don't think we're going to really shock anyone else. Everyone knows the lineup. Everyone knows the pitchers' names and knows a lot of our guys in the bullpen. And it's just going to come down to us to really go down and figure out a way to try to get to where we want to be. Whatever my name gets read, that's where I'm going to hit. I'm player number 12. I'm not I'm not a manager. I'm not a coach. I get paid to play baseball for these guys. So like wherever my name gets read, I'm going to play, and I want to win. I just want to win a World Series, and wherever we think our best lineup is to go do that and continually win baseball games, that's what we have to do.
I love Schwarber.
That's
such
awesome.
a great dude.
That's
good
awesome.
locker room.
Schwarbomb.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
that was great.
I mean, Bryce with the little, I'm a 3-hole hitter, but it's like,
Nah,
that's not great. Schwarber's just like, I'm number 12. Tell me where to bat.
Yeah, he is great.
Yeah.
He's the best.
You get why, like, I don't know. He's like locker room glue.
Yes.
This is his last year of the contract.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know. No, I hear you. He is locker room glue. Yeah. So.
And then to build into the whole Vic Fangio and creating that culture and that motivation and like getting ready for next season, there was a great little video that came out over the weekend of Jalen Hurts. And he was actually seen doing drills over the weekend.
All right, get that work in.
Where's this at?
It's got to be probably down in Texas, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as you can see, he's right back to business.
I like it.
I love it.
Yeah. He's working out, getting ready.
Never stops,
The weather
man.
looks nice there wherever he's at.
Yeah.
Never stop. Pretty soon. It's coming.
Yeah.
We got 50s this week.
I know.
All right.
Okay.
We got 50s this week.
I want to give a shout out to the Flyers got a little vibe going on, and it's younger people. They do the Dollar Dogs nights, Dollar Pretzel nights. They got crowds coming out. So I found this shirt. A really great bartender in town, Hannah. She is Flyers crazy, and she was wearing a Cutter Gauthier shirt. And I love that this is in circulation in this town. Cutter Gauthier.
Oh, that's great.
The Trader shirt is making its rounds.
That's awesome. Oh, I love it. That's fantastic.
I love it.
That's fantastic. I love that.
One of the worst of the weekends for me, probably not for everyone. I think I'm out of touch.
Other than Sixers?
Phillies are having a country music night, and they're giving away kind of like a Bobo-looking country western cowboy hat. And yeah, I mean, I know that's got to be a cartoon mock-up of the hat.
It's a Crocodile Dundee hat almost.
Yeah. I don't get the cowboy hat.
I don't want a cowboy Phillies hat. That's
in
a
Philadelphia.
Yeah. The cowboy thing in Pennsylvania in general just doesn't mix.
Yeah, I just
Makes
don't
no
understand.
sense.
Like, listen,
I mean, we're the only idiots saying this
you're-
because it's hugely popular here.
I know. I don't understand it.
I don't either, but
Like
we're
if that was
idiots,
the
apparently.
Rangers, if that was the Texas Rangers or something down there, sure, go, enjoy
Well,
the hat.
cowboy hat is part of the fashion of Texas and Oklahoma,
Yeah.
right? Like New Mexico, like the cowboy hat is a part of that landscape.
We got to get the Phillies.
It's not part of our landscape.
We got to get the Phillies to get Cuz a cowboy hat, one of these cowboy hats for the show.
What would be
But again,
something?
but that's not our thing. That's what I don't like about the world being homogenized. Like,
Go on.
like it shouldn't be. Everybody should have their own culture. Like
Yeah,
our
well,
culture's
that's
not
just one night. They have a bunch of
our
other
culture's
nights.
not cowboy hats.
I
No.
agree.
Yeah, it's like cosplay in a way.
Like we're not about. There's nothing wrong with it, but that's it. Like, why are we stealing from Texas and Oklahoma?
Yeah, we shouldn't.
In Nashville.
What would we have? What should be our type of hat?
The Jeff cap.
The Jeff cap?
Jeff has a good hat.
Yeah.
Hard hat.
Yeah,
Construction
or
worker
his
hard hat.
The hard hat would be sweet. They
His
should do a hard
hat's
hat.
good,
If we could do
There's a million different hats. Just the baseball. Like we don't. We're not cowboy hat people.
Yeah, I agree.
Like again, if you're in Texas,
Hat it up.
I can't be a hypocrite though. The bucket hat's like a surfer thing. I like the bucket hats. I'm a Phillies bucket hat
Well, if
guy.
you're down the shore, I mean, it makes sense because of that hat down the shore. You walk around. You like to walk around the city wearing a bucket hat?
Some days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do.
I'm out.
Yeah, I'm looking
Down
for
the
full.
shore, it
I'm looking
works.
for full sun protection this summer.
Yeah.
Well,
The sunscreen on the nose, the bucket hat. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
you're gonna look like the fudgy wudgy guy.
Yeah.
walking in.
Howie Roseman, want to give him some love. He did. This speaks not only to Howie, but to us as a fan base. There's no other fan base that would line up at a mall to get an autograph from their GM of their football team. He shows up in the Oxford Valley Mall. Look at this line of people to get a Howie Roseman autograph.
That's wild. But that's Philadelphia.
People, I love it. People are bringing up the picture of him with the cigar and the sunglasses and his cut head and getting him to sign it. That's amazing.
That's fantastic.
Only in Philadelphia.
Only in Philadelphia. You got that right. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for us. Big week ahead, Combine Week. So we'll dive into that. Steve Spagnuolo is going to join us to go through the Super Bowl. All right, so Spags from their side of it. I'm fascinated to see what they saw.
That's really exciting.
All right, so we'll talk to Spags about that. Big week ahead. Everybody enjoy yourself. Be careful. We love you. We'll see you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.